something before we go. Revolution, revolution, revolution. We want to do something before we go. Revolution, revolution, revolution. We want to do something before we go. Revolution, revolution, revolution. We want to do something before we go. Revolution, revolution, revolution. We want to do something before we go. Revolution.
All right, people. So let me quickly bring you up speed. Today, Sowore is already in court with, uh, set of comrades who are always with him. Some of them doing running shift because of they have to catch up with other things. Otherwise, they would have been more than this. I understand. Like some set of comrades I knew were around before today's particular event are not available today because they had to run. But let me quickly bring you up speed. The breaking news, as you see already, is that which Ure himself is about to announce, is that the court who gave 8th July has the day of hearing of the variation of his bail conditions as not listed after all his case in court today. But let me quickly say let us quickly run through the updates before now, and then we will come up to stage and bring back to Sowore while they are still singing revolutionary songs. You will recall that Sowore was taken on 3rd of August last year, and it will almost be a year very soon. Sowore was taken from his hotel apartment on Isaac John Street, Ikeja in Lagos, where the DSS decide to abduct him without any notice. Of course, he knew they were coming, but then that's not a big deal because he was ready. He wasn't going to run away after all. He came purposely to Nigeria for this. So it was taken. You remember that the first thing that happened was on 8th of August, after he was abducted for several days due to outcry, he was taken before Justice Taiwo Taiwo, and the Justice Taiwo Taiwo granted ex parte order to the DSS to detain Sowore for 45 days. Don't forget that the DSS was asking for 90 days to hold him, but because the judge wasn't convinced that Sowore had any weapon or any serious intent to even carry out what they are claiming, so the justice decided, okay, take him for 45 days and then bring him back. We'll see what we'll do about that. And then the reason the judge granted that was because he felt like, okay, number one, the allegation is weighty, very severe, to say somebody wants to commit treason. You want to upturn a government? Okay, does he have weapons? Then the DSS claimed that Sowore had ties with people who could supply weapons and also was committing money laundering and all of that. So the justice felt like, okay, let us try this and see if this is true. Hold him for 45 days while you conclude your investigations. After 45 days, they had no story. Guess what happened next? On December 6th, upon the release of Sowore, while another judge, because it became clear that Justice Taiwo Taiwo was going to release Sowore and giving him bail condition that, okay, he should not travel out while this case lasted, because the judges also are not new to the game. They knew that all of this are just nothing but fluff, just to keep holding him, nothing more. So what they did was that they decided to transfer the case to another judge. Now, the other judge, being Justice Ijoma Ojuku, also decided to say, okay, you can hold him in your custody or prison or your custody, but then after then, they decided to release him. Upon the release, he was rearrested again by the DSS the following morning in court, because the judge was also not happy. I asked you to release somebody, you failed. I signed bail bond. I signed everything that I should release him on bail. You refused. How can you be forming another court while the court has said you should release somebody on bail? So, but they released him temporarily. He came back the next morning. They picked him up again. I'm just trying to bring you up speed with the development so far. And then the next thing that happened again on December 24th, after he was taken again, Sowore was released. I'm sure some of you still remember that drama at the courts where the judge also scampered for her own life. I was in court that day. The judge ran away too. She was so scared, like, what is going on? Guns in the court. The court became rowdy. All other cases for the day were automatically adjourned and disrupted. That was December 24th. The day before Christmas, we all celebrated that Sowore was at least released again. But then there were stringent bail conditions. So Sowore began to apply for variation in these stringent bail conditions. He applied severally, and then what happened next was that they said, okay, keep coming back, come and appeal the bail conditions. Each time he came, they adjourned. Each time he came, they adjourned. The last time he went, they adjourned again. Today is 8th of July. 8th July 2020. Since Sowore was abducted August 3rd of August 2019. Today is 8th of July 2020. And as we speak right now, is now again in court. But don't also forget that in February 2020, court awarded 200,000 naira fine against DSS for disobeying orders to release Sowore as instructed by court. Well, another update you should also be aware of is that the charges brought against Sowore have now already been reduced. They claimed he was committing money laundering. They didn't see money in his account. So where did you find that allegation from in the first place? So they removed that. All the charges have now been reduced drastically, and I think the only thing that is remaining now is, okay, they said he was insulting the president, and then treason. Treason. Okay. Anyways, so that is what has happened so far. So today in court again, the breaking news, as you can see in the topic of this live broadcast, is that the courts did not even, they gave 8th of July for hearing on a bail case, but guess what? Nothing is happening. They did not even put his case in the list of matters to be heard today, meaning that they don't take Sowore's case seriously. They feel like, oh, it's not, as if it's not important too. But then we don't want to do this one, and let's just leave him in Abuja for now. Let's just continue to play anky panky. It's already very clear they have no case against this man, and that is the country you people have. I'm just reporting. Let me take you back to where Sowore is right now, what he's saying. The audio isn't clear, but let me do a direct call in and let me bring somebody in to give us live updates from the court. I'm going to call Comrade Oshoks to speak with us and connect us with Sowore straight right there. I'm calling Comrade Oshoks now. So people, keep your comments coming. Hello, Comrade, how are you? How are you, Comrade? Oh, we lost that, so sorry. Let me keep trying him. I think he must have network issues there. I'm trying to call Comrade Oshoks again. He's right there beside Sowore. Meanwhile, you can keep your comments coming while we're doing this. Let's relate together. What do you think? He's up again. What do you think would end all of this drama between the DSS, Sowore, and the rest of them? Let me try another Comrade. I think Comrade Shooks is currently busy. Or, okay, his network is not too cool. Okay. I understand what's going on. Let me call another person right there in court to give us a live feed. But then the audio isn't too clear with Showore's live broadcast there. They are interviewing his lawyer. And I'll keep trying the comrade who we're supposed to have here. Now, the person speaking right now is Marshall. Femi Falanos Marshall is the one currently speaking there. Um, Marshall is speaking about the updates there. Let's listen to him, I think, right? Now, this is Oshoks giving updates on how historically the country has tried to use loopholes of law to suppress revolutionary voices since history, and how till today they are still doing the same thing, but none of them stood the test of time. I think he's trying to encourage everybody that don't worry, it's not new. Every administration that comes to power and wants to be too heady and wants to be self-centered, they have always done this, and it is not new to every activist, every revolutionary. They do this every time, and but at the end, it is always ending in victory for the activists. So that they shouldn't worry. I think we should continue listening to him right now. But the audio is so poor. That's my only worry.
Revolution! No! No!
That's a live update from the court. Let's see if Shure will speak again, and but the audio is poor from that live broadcast with Shure. I think they have to do something about getting a mobile microphone for him.
The COVID-19 pandemic and the COVID-19 pandemic, that's the pandemic of governance.
Pandemic of governance, that's what he's saying. Okay, I think at this point, let me just try Comrade Oshokes again to take us in, and we should be able to have better audio with him because I already told him to get here peace. Comrade Oshokes, are you there? Trying again. Or perhaps I should just try another person. While I'm trying to connect Comrade Oshokes, let me leave you with Larry Safari's Vagabonds in Power VIP. Enjoy. Don't go away. I'm still here.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Underdog, freaky. At the vex. Nigeria is stuck with leaders who can move this country forward. But if you talk, you go die. If you no talk, you go die. I rather talk. Anytime I talk, then they try to stop me. Arrest me, they want me. Whatever that you send them, no send, they go stop you. Arrest you or kill you. But if they kill the messenger, they no go fit kill the message. Oh, my people just they suffer, suffering and smiling. Hey, vagabonds in power. They want me, they want you. Government in power. It don't tell them they play also. The vagabonds in power. They want me, they want you.
I don't Lagos, I know the Abuja.
It don't tell them they play also. Yes, every little thing when I see, I go talk. Every little thing when you see, make you talk. My ancestors. But if you kill the messenger, you know go fit kill the message. My people just they suffer, suffering and smiling. Hey, vagabonds in power. They use me, they use you. This government in power. You don't tell them they kill us. So wake up, make gonna wake up, make you shine your eyes. Oh yeah, get up.
Your network is terrible, but let's manage it.
You know go walk up.
Can you do portrait for us instead of landscape? Do portrait so that we can see you
The only
straight.
thing we go walk with action, not revolution.
I can hear you, but can you do portrait? Do portrait image. Okay, good. Do portrait image. Don't do landscape.
Yahoo, they call us Yahoo.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, but do a portrait so we can see you well. Turn your phone to portrait.
Where I can have a...
Okay, I understand you are struggling with the network there.
I'm coming. I'm doing it. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Alright,
But
I've left
do a portrait. Slant your phone to a portrait. Turn it. Okay, good. So, I want to hear the update from you. We are live, and then let's just go straight without wasting further time. So, good morning to you.
Good
Can you
morning,
hear me?
Objective TV.
Okay, great.
Yes, good morning, Objective TV.
So, straight to the point. You were in court earlier this morning to check what number Sowore's case would be, and then it turned out it wasn't even listed after all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, can you give us the story from the last time you were in court, and then they gave you this date? What do you think is happening?
Okay, we are still within the court premises. I just had to walk down to an area where I can hear you clearly.
Yeah.
Our leader, Sowore, is still around. He's addressing the press. Not really addressing the press, but addressing his followers. We have a good number of them, over 100 within the court premises. So he's appealing to them, talking to them, calming them down, and then giving them hope, which he has never failed to stop presenting before his followers and Nigerians in general. Yes, I'm still within the court premises. As I said, we came in this morning having got a date. The last time we were here on the 5th of last month, and then we got today being 8th of July to appear in court for accelerated hearing. Only for us to be in court this morning, and then our lawyers approached the court's clerk, and then to check at what point our case is to be heard. And then unfortunately, we didn't find our case listed. And then we asked why, and he said the case is not listed, that his lordship or their lordship, because this is a court of appeal, are not ready to hear our case. It's
Not
just
ready.
appalling. Yeah, and then we're more like, oh, but today was given to us to come. We didn't fix today as a date.
But are there
Rather,
cases?
the cases,
Are there
Yes,
cases they are ready
rather.
to hear?
yes, rather there are cases in
They are
court
ready to
right
hear.
now, and we believe the court session has commenced, which boils on electoral matters, Dino and what have you, and all what not. So you can imagine a case that borders on fundamental human rights of Omoyele Sowore, a
They are not
man who
ready
has
to
been
hear.
fighting for years to ensure that Nigeria works for everyone, a man who has sacrificed all, I mean all, a man who has laid down his life to ensure that there is liberty for every Nigerian, irrespective of who you are, where you come from, So we now have his fundamental rights being trampled upon, and to them it's nothing. To them it doesn't matter. To them it's a normal thing. You understand? And these are the same people who Sowore stood in the past to make sure what they are enjoying today is possible. Take you back to June 12th. See the struggle Sowore fought. Take you back to 99. See the struggle he fought again to ensure democracy is being brought to stay. And then in the end, these individuals are now using the same democracy to abuse Nigerians today. They're now using the same democracy to witch hunt Nigerians. They're not using the same democracy some of these persons like Sowore fought for to enrich themselves against the well-being or welfare of the common man. So this is what is happening today. So we're in court, disappointed, but we're not giving up. We're disappointed, but we're not giving up. The struggle is a struggle I will call the Maimoi and Akara struggle. It's a struggle that any of us who have decided to put our hands on the plow have also decided not to look back. So whatever time they ask us to come, we'll be in court. But one thing is to be made known. There is no date. As I'm talking to you now, there is no date. So it's a strategy.
That's exactly the next question I was going to ask. To know whether they have given you another date after giving you 8th of June previously.
There is no date. There is no date. No date.
So this is an indefinite matter after all.
It's an indefinite, yes, it can be whenever they want to. It can be in the year 2021, it can be in the year 2022.
It could be after 2023.
Or maybe after 2023. So this is to tell you how bastardized the system is. And a man like Sowore would not give up. That is one thing they have failed to realize. A man like Sowore,
I can see an inscription on your shirt. I'd like to see it fully so that people can know what it is. What's that? Okay, I can see you can jail.
Can you read?
I can see, okay, you can jail
a revolutionary,
but you can't jail the revolution.
Jail the revolution.
Take it down a little so everybody can see it. Just take your camera down a little. You can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution. Okay, so sorry. Okay, yeah, that's the inscription on the shirt. Okay, thank you so much. I saw that. Now let's continue. I could see Sowore addressing people, and it was in high spirit as usual. And this is somebody who probably already knew that this was all that was up. After all, there was no case. How many charges, as we speak right now, are against Sowore? How many count charges are against Sowore as we speak now? How many counts? The network is fluctuating, so sorry, people.
Libelous charges in
how many counts now?
Yeah. It is also worthy to note that Sowore is in high spirits. Sowore is a man that cannot be broken. We had ab initio. We had 7
ab initio
against Sowore.
Yeah.
And when the balls of money laundering, cyber stalking, trying to take over the government and what have you. But in their own foolishness, they brought this frivolous count against Sowore, and they couldn't prove anything. Looking at money laundering, they couldn't prove. They dropped that. Looking at cyber stalking against the president, they couldn't prove. They stopped that because they knew presenting those charges or those charges before Sowore in the court of law is more like making fool of themselves. Yes, exactly, making fool of themselves. So they started pruning. Now it's now bored on the criminal charge of felony or trying to overthrow the government via revolution. And it's also worthy to note I'm looking for a phrase to use for you to know how this group of criminals reason. months back, a federal high court in Lagos made a pronouncement to say the August 5, 2019 Revolution Now protest was constitutional and within the rights of those who embarked in that protest. Now, Sowore was now arrested even before the August 5 for an event or an activity that had not even taken place. Now, when the activity took place, in which you are holding against them to say, look, you have trampled upon the fundamental rights of these individuals, their right to, freedom of expression, So you have faulted by obstructing that activity, and now this is all.
Wow.
Also, the
Blue,
activity you are
MTN,
is like.
Airtel, all of you, we have
You can see
fundamental
what the
human
system
rights
is like. So,
to
as
use
far as
our
we are
subscription
concerned,
now.
there is no case.
So sorry, the
Yeah.
network was
So
breaking
there
and
is no case
reconnecting.
against
Yeah.
you.
Okay. We are all everybody on this, even Buhari, Malami, the judges, the courts, the legislature, all of them knew there was even no single case against the man. Everybody understood already that it's just about keeping him so that they can continue to do their thing. They just want to keep him somewhere, not to continue to talk. But then the next thing is, how soon do you think they are going to be ready to hear his case? Because it doesn't look like they are even ready at all to hear his case. Because they know, after all, it doesn't have a case. If he had a case by now, we expected that they will almost be rounding it off by sending him somewhere. But they don't even know what to do with him. He had no money laundering charges, cases against him, no treasonable felony in genuine sense against him, nothing against him in the genuine sense as accused. But do you think that the judges, the courts, are being signaled to do what they are doing?
Of course, we can't shy away from that. The court is a product of the bastardized system. The court is a product of the bastardized system. And the revolution we cry today for is going to cut across, it will sweep across, irrespective. Government institutions, public office holders, will be held accountable. So the court is a product of this same institution that has been a bane to the common man, right? So categorically, I would not want to say this is what they are doing, but we know what they are doing. They know there is no case, but the only way to keep this young man in chains, of which it's not possible as far as we're concerned, is by adjourning, running away from having this, because they feel once there's a case in court, Sowore cannot address the press. His hands are now tied for the conditions given when we were in the Federal High Court, so he can't leave Abuja. So that is what they are just using. So they know that the very mistake of allowing the system operate the way it's supposed to be, there will be no case. And Sowore will be a free man as quickly as anyone can ever imagine. You can see comrades are still coming. A load of them just arrived.
I don't mind
if
the network permits you. I don't mind you join them, and then we unite with them together and we continue our conversation. Even though already we know that there's no case, it's just all of these are just to buy time to keep him in Abuja. There's no case after all. Everybody knows that already.
Let me walk down.
Yes, if you can.
Initially, I had to walk down this direction so that I had to walk down so I can hear you. They've actually moved a bit ahead of where I am to the roadside by the gates of the Court of Appeal. Okay. So you might not be able to hear me clearly, and I might not get you as well.
Whatever you say, we'll still be able to manage to hear, even amidst the song of solidarity they are singing.
All right. All right. Okay.
So, but let's continue till you reach
Um.
them. Let's continue till you reach them. As it stands right now, a lot of people are wondering whether it will be possible for Sowore to still contest in 2023. I know that is not in your own conclusive judgment to determine, but a lot of people who are following the case want to know whether would this case not last too long for Sowore to be able to contest in 2023. Yeah, you see, fundamental right to use the subscription we paid for. Did you hear me?
Yeah. Your
Okay.
question again.
The question
Yeah. Okay.
somebody asked a question
You are
to know.
asking. You are asking. You are asking if it won't hinder him contesting in
Somebody asked
2023, right?
because we are live. Somebody
Okay.
asked whether it will still be possible for Sowore, given how this case is
Okay.
going, and they are not ready to listen to it because they know they had no case after
All
all.
right.
Will he be able
Okay.
to at least
Now,
contest in
my
2023?
my response to that person. My response to that.
Oh, network again. Can you imagine? The network in Abuja is terrible. Even in Lagos, I'm bonding multiple networks. When one goes down, the other takes off. That's what I'm paying to do in Lagos. Can you imagine that? Even when I enter Abuja to go and do the live stream of the court, what I do is that I bond multiple networks. It costs me a lot. Can you imagine?
Something say something.
Every little thing.
Anyways, people, that's just the little we can do. Let me see if I can connect Showore's live stream himself at the court, and we take it from there. Sowore is still addressing people, premises of the court, but I cannot hear him. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, somebody came with this magnitude of I mean number of people for a case that is as important as fundamental human rights. And guess what? Guess what? The court does not even want to hear that case. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the scene. Well, somebody's Godwin Apa on Facebook says it's a strategy to hold Sowore after 2023 elections. Um, that's Abuja. They already walked out. They didn't even bother to get into the into the courtroom because they already saw the court paper, the list of cases for the court on the day, and it was no longer necessary to even go ahead because they already started court on other cases, and they are not ready to listen to, and they are not even giving him another day or any new dates to hear his bill variation. Well, I'm sure that Sowore knew what he came to Nigeria to do because everybody knew that this is not a working country. There is no true separation of power, and there is no way at all that anybody would be able to depend on the judiciary to give them justice, even if the executive was oppressing them, or the legislative or the legislature was oppressing them. So if you depend on the judiciary in Nigeria to give you justice for anything, you're wasting your time. And that's just the point that this case is proving already. So this is your rest case, and I think that's it. He's leaving already. He's leaving. He's leaving the courts. He's leaving now, and then the comrades will continue to sing their solidarity songs. I understand. Um, Others who drove behind the car taking aim are also entering their respective vehicles, and then that's the live update so far. That's Showore's case live from the court. Let's see if he has anything to say while moving. Okay, let's hear him.
Nelson, tell these people there.
I think Shure is about to speak again to people. Let's hear him.
This man, wait, this short man.
Civil Force says if they are not giving him dates, he's free to go. I don't think so. He has to continue to give them benefits of doubt. So let's hear Shure.
These people are not ready for, they are not in any way ready for trial justice. They are only interested in delay and subterfuge. We have been to the Court of Appeal today where we're supposed to have a hearing. No hearing. They didn't even give us a new hearing date. And now that we have another case on Friday, we want to go and confirm that date at the Federal High Court here in Abuja to be sure that they have not postponed that one to adjourned, even without a hearing. That case relates to the violation of our rights at the Federal High Court. That's a lawsuit we instituted against the Attorney General and the DSS, the lawless DSS, and the competent Attorney General and Minister of Injustice, Abubakar Malami, the corrupt Abubakar Malami. That's the one that we are going to confirm now. And on Friday, we will be back at the Federal High Court, not the Court of Appeal, Federal High Court, to continue with this lawsuit. So we're just heading there, but we're a little delayed. I think our people are trying to all get inside the bus and we go together.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Let me do a few shout outs to Joe Patrick, Temitope. It's Kolo Titi, thank you. Subit, the CEO, thank you. Stephanie Sinota, it's been a long time. Thank you, Stephanie. Good to talk to you. Modupe Ola, Emma Okafo, Singa Dekunle, thank you. Umamaya Kapani, thank you. Kikiola Kinkube. Yes, contact me. You can DM me if you have any questions for me, or you can email me, showore@gmail.com.
That's his email, showore@gmail.com. And that's the same email I give everybody who wants to reach out to him. Ladies and gentlemen, I think at this point I want to give room for anyone who wants to call in to say one or two words. The WhatsApp number for you is right on your screen. If you have any word you want to say about the development today or as so far, let's hear you. That's the number right there on your screen. You're free to call in. And then the Skype, I think we have a Skype number. Shegun, where's your Skype? Shegun, where's your Skype? Okay, let's do WhatsApp video call for today. If you want to call in before I end the live broadcast, please try doing via the number on your screen. It's live in the studio right now. And then, but for those of you who already have our Skype, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, that's great. So that's the updates so far from court. And then it's I mean, what is interesting or amusing so far is that these people never failed, and that's what I like about Nigerian government. They never fail to amuse you. You know that shit. They don't fail to amuse you. That they have nothing to do. They have nothing. That they are just buying time. They never failed to amuse you. In fact, try to disappoint us once to say we want to even prove this case. we even want to do this thing. There has never been anything Nigerian government said they wanted to do that they achieved. Starting from the Nigerian Airways to fighting corruption to whatever it is. They have never failed to disappoint, because anytime Nigerian government announces anything, Nigerians say, I lie. Nigerians on the streets. I'm on the streets. Nigerians on the streets will say, who? Nah, lie. You saw the other day when I interviewed people who mobilized for APC in the last election. You heard what they said. They know. All of them know. Say all these people are liars. Nothing. They know. Say they know they do any shit now. They know. Let me put this up a little. Start a comment. Anyways, leave that one. So that's the WhatsApp number in case, but let me take it off. So if you go on the streets, anytime Nigerian government announces that they want to do something, Nigerians will tell you, a lie. Nothing go happen. They know they do any shit. They are just hunting one another because of power, hunger. That means supposed to come. That means I'm not supposed to be that guy. No, this. They will now start forming. They form new caucus every week. Every week. In individual parties, they form new caucuses. And then the funniest is nothing happens after all. Nothing happens after all. So in this case, too, everybody knows. In fact, I wasn't even expecting anything to happen as of yesterday. Yeah. As of yesterday, I wasn't expecting anything to happen in court today as per Sowore's matter. So, somebody says Sowore should be preparing for an alternative. Abdul remain on Facebook. Well, I'm not in the position to advise Sowore as an adult. Not only is he an adult, Sowore don't pay for this game. Alright, for him to be taking the decisions he's taking, he knew what he was doing. At least he did not inform us when he was coming to Nigeria. We just saw that. I was even in Lagos on the day he came. I was on Isaac John Street in Ikeja GRS. He did not carry any luggage. And like, sure, this is unusual. He just came in like, he just walked in like, they just went to collect him from the airport. And I was like, I said, you just met with Nnamdi Kanu. Don't you think they go and pick you? He said, see, I have my purse, my toothpaste and brush in my pocket. I expected them to have picked me from the airport. They didn't pick me. So he now went to launch Orange Revolution, but I say they must pick him. So that's why I believe that he knew what he was coming for, and I'm not in a position to advise him. We can only say no. For as long as what you are doing is concerned, it is still not a crime. That's why I am, for instance, doing what I am doing. I don't support crime, right? So whether you support Osh Poppy against Tifnubu or against, I'm reading the comments I read online. No, I'm not the one using the word Tifnubu. Those are the words I go online. It's replete. Just Google Tifnubu. You will see all of those people that have used those words, or Sarativ, or Dimeje Bank Ole, or even Agbaya, Agbalaya, Melaya, and all the rest of them. I think I have a call coming in. Let me try to take this person. Hello. You're backing your window lights, and because of that, the light reflection from your window isn't making it possible for us to see your face well. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you here.
I can hear you.
Alright, okay, quickly.
But your window, can you change your
So
position?
yeah, talking about the case, the Sowore's case, sincerely, I am a fan of Sowore. I'm a follower. I understand his message. I know Femi. I do everything, all these protests. But the thing is that it's just so sad. Sincerely, it is very sad. Like, I don't lie to you. At this point, I can say I'm almost giving up on in the. Hey, this network is bad. Yeah,
I can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm back now. Yeah, I can say at this point. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, at this point, I'm almost. giving up on Nigeria, sincerely, because nothing seems to be working. And the truth is that I keep telling people, and it is so sad because the so-called democracy, I tell people, the so-called democracy is not for a country like Nigeria. And I'll tell you why. Democracy is a kind of government that goes for quantity instead of quality. It goes for quantity instead of quality. So that's why no matter how much we conduct our elections, you will never see the likes of Sowore coming at the top, because the majority of the voters are those who are not informed. The majority of the voters are those who are not informed, and they will be the one that will keep determining the future of the millions of Nigerians, because they will be the ones to determine the future of Nigerians, because they are the ones voting. So for we to have the kind of Sowore as the president, it means the voters have to be people who are enlightened, and Nigerians are in fact, it is so sad. It is so sad. In my area, I've done a lot. How will you feel when even your parents get angry at you for attending protests?
Can I say something here? Please
let me hear you.
Do not give up. Alright? There's a reason you should not give up. You are changing one person at a time. Some people will not change immediately.
Hello?
It is due to personality difference that some people take time before they change. But once they change, they don't go back. So continue what you're doing. Don't give up. Right? Thank you so much, caller.
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I think the network at his on his side isn't too favorable. But then let me I think we should close the show. If you must do this one, we should do afterwards. Just talking about what everybody feels about the development in Sowore's case, so that this is not a too long this is not a video that is too long. The person is calling back, but I think I might just want to close the show right now. Everybody, thank you so much for your time. I'll come to your screen again later, possibly later today, and then we'll see how we can take the conversation further. My name is Shegun. I leave you with Larry Safari's Vagabonds in Power. Bye for now.
Yeah. Underdog, freaky, at the vex. Nigeria is stuck with leaders who can move this country forward. But if you talk, you go die. If you no talk, you go die. I'd rather talk. Anytime I talk, then they try to stop me. Arrest me, they want me. Whatever that you send them, no send, they go stop you. Arrest you or kill you. But if they kill the messenger, they no go fit kill the message. My people just they suffer, suffering and smiling. Hey, vagabonds in power. They want me, they want you. Government in power. It don't tell them they play also. The vagabonds in power. They want me, they want you. The government in power. It don't tell them they play also. Yes, every little thing when I see, I go talk. Every little thing when you see, make you talk. My ancestors. But if you kill the messenger, you know go fit kill the message. My people just they suffer, suffering and smiling. Hey, vagabonds in power. They use me, they use you. This government in power. You don't tell them they kill us. So wake up, make on a wake up, make you shine your eyes. Oh yeah, get up, make on a get up. This one no be eyes. We did they pray without action. You know go walk up. Some day fast without action. You know go walk up. I say the only thing we go walk with action, no, na revolution. When they talk too much, you know go walk up. They call us Yahoo.